But
oh yeah,
with that being said, we are moving on to our next match. And who's it going to be on winner's side?
it's going to be COOSCO versus ELCHAKOTAY, one of the, best Street Fighter Player 6 players out there. Of course, we saw, as you said, Tay, win all of Combo Breaker on that Lily and continue to, wreak havoc both online and offline. So I'm looking forward to seeing Tay come through and do what it do. Of course, Lily, one of the rarer picks, right? Like you think about, Hibiki from Japan, most and Tay, and those two really do stand out. There are a few others out there, but not exactly the character where if you're rolling up, you're like, okay, that's the one I want to pick, because the knowledge gap can be real difficult.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And like, even with that being said, her game plan is very linear, right? So it can be a little bit difficult to feel like you have options outside of like the base, like layer 1, layer 2 game plan. But somebody like Tay, he is so well versed in like the grappler mentality and that archetype that he makes it work better than most, and that's why he's in winner's side here.
Oh, we see COOSCO on Cammy White, going for a bit of throw loop city here, 3 in a row. There's the check, trying to see if anything else was doing, but COOSCO got a nice little chunk of damage off that punish counter though. CHAKOTAY stocking up the wins.
Now, I should say, I used to play Cammy before Akuma came out, and I would occasionally run into Tay on rank. And I have to say that I think this matchup is actually a bit difficult for Cammy because mainly of Crouch Fierce from Lily. It's such a good button at deterring the air approach that Cammy, somebody who excels from mixing up her air trajectory, stopping it short, changing up the timings of how you have to try and anti-air. For something like the Crouch Fierce from Lily to have such dominant range and so many active frames, it makes a little bit of a catch-all that's a lot easier to defend with against somebody like Cammy.
Yeah, we're going to see if Tay's going to continue to use that. Gets the command grab, though. Drive rush, of course. Baits out the parry, but COOSCO getting away with a little bit of one there. There's the Spire. Nice counter hit challenge from COOSCO.
Ooh, immediately waking up with the level 1 here. And Lily's does have above average damage, so it's going to hurt a little bit more than usual, but most importantly, it is keeping him, or it was anyways, keeping him below that threshold of 3 bars of drive gauge.
Oh, I like this side switch. Absolutely. COOSCO putting CHAKOTAY in the corner again. Level 3 available. COOSCO looking for a really strong hit to perhaps get the lead or eventually get that burnout, but it's going to be the throws first.
Yeah, Tay really has to worry about his drive gauge here, and you can tell he's not going for parry, but he does get the perfect parry on offense, I guess. COOSCO gets it. And so...
The burnout again. COOSCO backing up, doesn't want to overcommit here, has to still be careful, can lose this with one mistake, and CHAKOTAY knows that with the drive gauge available and the win stock. Oh, I thought the anti-air was coming, but there's the win stock. Plus frames, super plus frames, neutral jump, falling button from COOSCO. What a decision. Did not want to get gripped up and ended up taking the whole game off of it.
And like to have, no, I suppose it is early, right? You have to guess at some point against a grappler. Oh my god, he calls him out immediately, and look at the damage. Cammy can hurt if she hits you with any of those mix-ups off the hooligan.
Oh, baited it! COOSCO with the hook, line, and seeker drive impact reset for the finish. Perfection.
Okay, he's playing a little fast and loose with it. Now, somebody like Tay, you have to have this kind of, this like premeditated strategy going into it that you expect certain things. But right now, he is throwing that to the wayside. He hit him with 2 drive impacts back to back, and look at how it's paying off.
Yeah, and definitely putting that knowledge of the option on the table into the mental stack of Tay. The EX dive, pressure again, reset into the throw.
Now he's dead. Yeah, he gets the kill as long as he doesn't drop. And that is going to seal it. That is 2 games for COOSCO, closing it out with the level 2, the homage to the Street Fighter 2 movie.
That was a 50-meter sprint across the line for a round. Super quick. We just started to talk about game 1, and game 2 is already over. Okay, COOSCO working quickly, but I think this is the pace that you want, right? Like, you're working with Cammy. This is how you want to play. You want to be able to just get in there, get your pressure, get your resets into your throws, threaten with crouch heavy punch, right? Like, hey, I'm going to make sure this is meaty. I'm going to get my plus frames, and I'm going to force you to guess. And that just takes all the options off of Tay for setting up the grappler stuff that you might want to do.
Yeah, and you have to imagine, too, there were only 2 instances where he even went for the command grab, and COOSCO guessed right on both of them. Now, Cammy does have the advantage there in having the opportunity to go for instant air dive kick as like kind of a built-in canned response. That's better than most. But even that being said, like, for Tay to have both of those attempts thwarted, that feels like deflating, right? So he's really going to have to gather himself and try and figure out a way to make things hurt a little bit more.
Okay, I like this option here. Stocks up, 2 win stocks available. There's one, the anti-air defense, but immediate dive kick from COOSCO, and there's another throw.
Such a strong option. That's not a real tick throw there off of the driver stand fierce, but you do have to worry about the threat of the jab since it is +1. So it effectively works as a micro walk tick throw. Oh man, he's getting clipped. And that level 1 I think is actually gonna kill maybe? Yep, that hurts.
Whew. That above average damage, like you said, it coming into play here. And now ELCHAKOTAY able to answer back, get that round, slowly start to build your comeback.
Okay, yeah, and that he's got the win stocks too, so he gets to make things a little more, you know, leery on COOSCO's side, and there is one of those command grabs. We see one finally land. There's the interruption from COOSCO though, and now with that buff to the target combo in Season 2, Cammy has the corner position already.
Punish counter combo here as well. COOSCO working quickly, the jump over, throw break, just hitting those buttons defensively. That's the Street Fighter classic.
Yeah. Oh man, what a well-placed dive kick, and he does get the walk-up throw there. Not a back throw though, that's important for Tay. He gets to keep the corner position and actually impose his own offense now, how the tables have turned.
I like this. There's that crouch, fierce, like you said, hammering away at the guard. Burnout for COOSCO with the level 2, lifting it up, but not able to put him down just yet.
Yeah, it did scale a lot, and that opportunity to actually use the, oh my god, he challenged. I have to wonder if maybe that was going to be walk-up crouch fierce trying to get a, like, delay tech from COOSCO, but ultimately Tay took advantage and stole a turn back and for the game.
Absolutely makes sense too, the way that COOSCO had been using just the throws off of those situations. So Tay taking a gamble there wisely, able to get that game. Nice punish counter there, double dash forward, but the DP for the escape.
And I love this. Look at Tay taking advantage. He recognizes that COOSCO is worried about his drive gauge and uses that opportunity to actually build some win stocks. And now he's already on block, pushed him to the corner, and still has control.
Yeah, and the drive gauge damage has been done too. COOSCO still in the yellow, slowly rebuilding, but the life bar is depleting. Nice challenge here confirmed from Tay. Has the level 1 available and will use it. That's going to be another round. That's three in a row for ELCHAKOTAY.
Yeah, the momentum is just flowing for him. He is taking this in spades, and it's one of those things where if you're a COOSCO, you have, like, there's no way you're not thinking about this. It's like, damn, I was up 2-0, and just like that, things have turned around in such a bad way. I refuse to believe you're not a little shaken.
Oh, there's the stir right there. ELCHAKOTAY having a little bit of a latte caffeine in the system. The wake-up protocol, DI busted with the Spire.
And that smells, oh my gosh, this is huge. Look at the damage. That's going to give him an opportunity to actually, okay, he does drive rush in, and that is dead. And now we see the command grabs are coming out, and the confidence is radiating like an aura off of ELCHAKOTAY.
Let's see if ELCHAKOTAY can stay elevated on this winner's side. All even. One last game to go, the rubber match. Drive reversal, I like that. If I'm going to lose drive gauge, I'll lose it on my turns.
Sure. And what's important too is we're actually seeing a lot of the defensives. Oh my god, what a pair. Oh, he didn't know the punish. That's a tough situation. What I was going to say is we're seeing a lot of the defense on ELCHAKOTAY's side feel much more comfortable and confident. He's not as pressured trying to deal all. I guess maybe I spoke too soon.
Yeah, the pressure is now being applied, but ELCHAKOTAY getting that drive gauge back. Dive kick going to keep him in the corner. COOSCO hammering away at the guard. Level 1 available.
Oh,
grab on the EX spin knuckle.
Oh, and he gets frame trapped, and there it is. That's punish counter too. Look at the drive gauge. It's looking slim. That's hella plus. Is he going to go for level 1? Maybe he went. No, that was a real frame trap. 100%. That was a frame kill setting up the command grab. And just like that, ELCHAKOTAY looking down the barrel of a reverse 3-0.
Is this 6 rounds in a row potentially here that we're going to see from Tay?
I think so, Dan. It's looking a little long for COOSCO. He's got to dig deep.
Interrupted a drive rush again. ELCHAKOTAY using the distance and the range of those buttons from Lily, defending the neutral space.
All right. Well, both of them slowing down for a little bit here, but not long enough for Tay to hammer back in there with the Condor Spire. Okay, there it is, the jump. Fierce into the tick throw, and now using that. Yep, that's plus now. It's not -4 anymore.
Change is certainly working out for COOSCO. Air to air goes in Tay's favor. Level 3 available for both players. Tay just a little bit outside of being able to even things up in the HP department, but COOSCO wisely waiting for that drive gauge to return. Does not want to engage without it.
Oh, what a jump. Okay, he's got the corner again. Back to the wall is Tay, and he finds the opportunity to actually land a hit. And look at the punish counter throw. He's got to worry about. Go ahead.
Bold down back from COOSCO, but Chakotay in burnout. Still got to be careful though. Command grab could spell doom. Oh no, big confirm. And there's the bust out level 3 from Chakotay. I'm not guessing you are.
Yeah, that is more than enough. Tay finally taking the opportunity to use a reversal level 3. He had done a couple wake up level 1s, right, to kind of put a hindrance on the pressure to slow things down a little bit, but he had never utilized anything in the middle of a gap. It hadn't been there. And just like that, when it mattered most, he could tell that COOSCO was getting a little frustrated. Tay was defending well enough, he was poking well enough to keep COOSCO out from imposing his will, you know, rushing him down, making it tough for Tay to guess correctly. And just like that, he noticed the gap. He's like, I'm gonna bet it. It's like, and I guess this also harkens to something else that I noticed as well, is there were a lot of times in that last round specifically where Tay was holding the wind charge, the charge longer than usual, trying to bait something. And that was an opportunity COOSCO could have used level 3 and gained the life lead, put him down to maybe 10-15% health, and he never took it. And I have to imagine Tay was paying attention, and he's like, he's scared. He's, you know, he's really worried about messing this up, and look how it paid off.
Absolutely. It's about the long game. Oftentimes when you see these grappler matchups, especially against fast-paced characters like Cammy, and when you're playing against high skill players like COOSCO, you know, you're going to have to gain your ground slowly but surely. And then once the blood is in the water, I really believe once that first command grab lands, it's like, okay, now I get to play the video game, right? Now I get to play my character. And it's really a situation where you find yourself underwater and you're kind of getting gripped up by the shark. After that first hit, they get a little bit of a taste. And now your mindset too, as you said, is going into the more defensive style. You're playing a little bit more tepid, and that's when Tay was able to jump all over it. And I think that, you know, if we see the run back of that, it might go a little bit differently, right? The longer the set goes, it's potential to have situations where that could have potentially gone either way. But the momentum was certainly on Tay's side. Shout outs to him for being able to make that comeback. And we got a really good winners finals in Jack versus Chakotay. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, and again, this is one that if you have ever been to an offline Midwest tournament, if you entering anything that's like CPT Midwest related, this is not a matchup that we are unfamiliar with. These two meet up a bunch, and their set count goes back and forth. There's going to be a barn burner for sure, but that will in fact decide our winner's side. That means we are moving down to the lower side of the bracket, and what match do we have coming up next?
We got Squall versus Magnegro coming up on the Midwest Boxer versus So Sick Nash Fan coming up. And like you said, loser side action, so that is do or die situation. You know, you got to get 3 games to move forward. If not, you will be ushered out of this top 8, a top 8 that is not easy to get into in this Midwest space. There are a lot of killers out there waiting and hungry for that opportunity to show up on stream and get some points in this World Warrior run.
Yeah, that's the important thing to remember, right, is that all of these players are vying for their opportunity to qualify and get seeded in the finals there, that will give them the chance to qualify for Capcom Cup. And now this is a format that has been going on for a while now. Capcom has kind of struck a pretty solid flow of how they want these online tournaments to run and what they want it to mean for the qualification process. And it seems to be a pretty good system for helping players that maybe don't have the chance to travel as often. Maybe, don't really have the schedule to accommodate it, right? And so with this opportunity, this means from the comfort of your own home, you can play to your very best and try and get your points up. Now, it is important to remind everybody that it is, in fact, based off of points to get the qualification. It used to be, it's changed up a bit from last year, and so now it is rewarding consistency more. So the consistency part being that, like, depending on how you're doing over these brackets, they take your 3 best results, and then that ties into, I believe, seeding. I don't think everything is winner's side in the finals. Is that correct?